Hey, my beauties. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, y'all. Let's see, what's the better background? How are you? How are you doing? Hey, it's Coach Viv, and it is Sunday, and I am here live. It's April 13th. I actually thought it was Easter Sunday, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to go live. Okay, that was wrong, right? Apparently, it's not. Let me turn on one more light. Hello, my beauties, my beauties, my beauties. So, hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am always in a new place. This last couple of weeks, you'll see I'm like in different locations, different places. Okay, well, you probably could fake it. I was going to say you can't fake it, but you probably could today with AI. All right. I'm having a cup of tea, jasmine tea. So get a cup of tea, settle in, and again, welcome those of you from the future and those of you who are here right now. This is live. It's really, really, yeah, it is live. It's not fake. I feel like that will be our quest in the future is like, was this real? Was this not real? And that's already happening. So we've got a lot to share about today, and it's going to be co-creative. And let me just read out the title to you that I'm going for here. Because I just changed it. We're going to work on affirmations, okay? And we're going to work on affirmations to overcome anger, frustration, feelings like that. All right, so that's what we're going to be working about. So give me a chance to settle in. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to really face. And I'm on this furniture that's actually comfortable, but it's comfortable if you're leaning back, which isn't really appropriate for what I'm going to be doing. So let me adjust you guys. Say hi if you're here. Say hi from the future. It is Sunday. I am really happy to be here. And I think it's 11 on the East Coast. Is that right? Let me see. It is 4 o'clock here. So yeah, it's 11 on the East Coast and it's even earlier in California. I don't know if you can notice I have gotten a tan. The sun has been out in, in the UK. I've been traveling along the like coastal part of the UK. And so I kind of want to show you guys out the window. The flowers are blooming, the trees. I don't know what kind of tree. It has really bright, it's not cherry blossoms, I don't think. But bright pink, maybe it is cherry blossoms, and it's just really lovely. So I hope it's lovely where you are as well. I really, really do. And I'm really enjoying where I am. I'm in a town close to Brighton, like that area. And I was literally just at the ocean, which is kind of a big deal for me. The ocean was really choppy because it's windy. So it was very dramatic and it was so windy. You guys, I'm like the American. I'm like in this, it's not wool, but this thick scarf I had wrapped around my neck and I was like freezing. And the British people, like I always notice people's calves, like their calves are out, they're in shorts, they're like stocky. They're used to this. They're used to this wind. So I'm just gonna give YouTube just a little time to let folks know I'm live, and I'm closing some tabs so that we have everything works a bit smoother. So give me a moment. Get some tea, get some wine, get some seltzer, get a spritzer. I'm just gonna leave just a few tabs open. Okay. And don't want to close the live stream tab. Yeah. So what I would love to do, you guys, is workshop affirmations to do with anger. Because if you saw my recent video, and I'm looking at it, I'm really psyched. It is my #1 video of what YouTube does is it does rank how your videos are doing. It tells you, the creator, and it's the #1 video. And what's really cool is right when you release it, they'll actually do these fireworks on the screen, which I love. It makes me so happy. These little like, and it'll say #1 and then fireworks going off. So it's gotten about 300 views right now. And that video was called Divine Feminine Life, How to Live a Divine Feminine Life and Reclaim Our, and then it cuts off, but our feminine power, your feminine power. So I want to work on that because I repeat feminine twice. But that video, go check it out, Divine Feminine Life, how to live a divine feminine life and reclaim our, I don't want to say feminine again, so our goddess power or something. And in that video, the first thing I talk about is releasing the emotion of um, anger, because it can't hold us back. Okay. And so I thought this week, just to really have some continuity and make this helpful for you and for me, I've got my notebook. Okay. And I have my pen. And I thought we would workshop some without ChatGPT. We're going to use our own brains. Okay. We're using our own brains today. Just affirmations to help clear anger. All right. That's what I would like to do today. And also, I can pull cards, but I did not pull out my cards um, in advance. So I would have to run downstairs and get them. But hey, y'all, we're going to be talking today. I want a workshop for you. If you're watching, if you're here live, this is for you. You guys know I keep saying it lately. Often I'll go live and it'll be for like 3 people that they show up and they're like, this is something that was on my mind, Viv. This is something that was bothering me. This is something I was dealing with. Okay. So if you're here, I believe there's a reason. We're going to workshop affirmations to do with anger, frustration that will help us release those emotions so we can live a more flowing life. All right. That is the point today. So I really do need you to participate. So first of all, say hi in the chat, be polite. I'm getting that from Stephanie Perry because I really like that. She's like, if you're coming in, it's like you're coming into a room. And if I'm sitting in the room, which I am, I'm here, and you're coming in the room, you wouldn't just like come in and not say anything and sit in the corner. I mean, I don't think you would, right? I don't want you to do that. So if you're here, beautiful ones, say hello, say hi, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So get your notebook, get some tea, or whatever it is you like to drink on a Sunday in the daytime. Well, it's the daytime as I'm recording this. And we're going to workshop affirmations for healing, anger and frustration. And let me share a little bit about that as well as folks come in, step into the room. In that last video, I talked about that that's the first thing we need to really release because anger can really poison our energy. Okay, it's the best way to put it. Anger, and this is proven scientifically, that obviously they'd use different words, but it affects our physiology. So when you're angry, you put out certain hormones, right? Certain chemicals in your body that it's just coming to me. I'm sort of channeling this, can even change the way your body, your scent, right? Um, in fact, I like to weave in different wisdom traditions. Um, People who tend to be a little more angry, often and this is not to offend anyone, this is literally like a way that a holistic practitioner can kind of tell what's going on or diagnose. Um, People who are pitta types, who can be very fiery, and if they're imbalanced, they can be more angry, more irritable. Um, Again, when they're imbalanced, and they will often have a stronger body odor. And there's whole like physiological reasons for that. But again, just to prove to you that our body chemistry reflects our emotional chemistry. Okay? Body chemistry is intimately tied to emotional chemistry. All right? So think about, even sometimes you may have noticed, either if you're afraid, you might smell different. Or if you are angry, if you notice that there's a slight change in how your scent. And you may not notice this. Most of us in modern times are just moving so quickly, we're not aware of what's happening with our bodies. But some of you, if you're very sensitive and very aware, you might have noticed that. That like if something really upsets you, you might notice that your scent is a little bit different, or there's like, yeah, I think you think there even is a phrase like fear sweat. It's like a little bit different. Okay. So let me see. I hope that I am broadcasting because I see that I'm live, but I'm just going to go to the front end of my channel, guys. I just want to be sure that I am coming through. Okay. Okay. It says, shows on the front end that I am live. Okay. Has the little red thing on it. So we're going to work on affirmations to release anger again for our own good, for our own well-being, not for others. Like, don't think of it like I'm not going to forgive that, SOB, what he did to me, or my abusive, father, or my abusive stepdad. What I want you to realize is it's like you're carrying baggage, and we're going to put down that weight. So it's not good for us. Like, literally, it's like we're walking around in our life, in our beautiful life, right? And feeling burdened down. And it's because we're still carrying the hurts, the pain, the regrets, all of it, the disdain, the everything, the frustration, the helplessness from times where we perhaps were abused, and or maybe we hadn't even done anything and we were treated badly. Okay, so hey, welcome. If you're coming in, say hi in the chat. Whether you're on your cell phone, just give me a quick hi and greetings. So I'm gonna just make up the first one and then let me know what you think. Let's start with a general, kind of generic affirmation to release anger. So it could be I release any stored anger from my body and mind. Okay, and I am writing these down. I release any stored anger from my body and mind. And I like to put in the word now sometimes. So I'm going to say, I now release any stored anger from my body and my mind. And I like the my repeating in there again, because with affirmations, those of you for whom it's new, it's the idea of conditioning your subconscious mind. So we are conditioning our subconscious mind, not our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is the thinking mind, the planning mind, the strategizing mind. What's harder and what we're trying to do is get to the part of the mind that is more like a sponge. Okay? It's like a dry sponge and it can soak in what you give it, but you have to give it good. You have to give it what you want it to soak in, what you want it to hold. Hey, if you're just joining, I think there may be some issues with connectivity. I'm not getting a warning, but let me know, you guys. You can hear me, see me, all of that. Let me close a couple more things. All right, let me close what I made the thumbnail with. I'm going to close another tab, and I'm going to close my Gmail. Let me close a bunch. Yeah, hey y'all. So that's the first affirmation. Use it if you like it, all right? I now release any stored anger from my body and mind. And also, what I like to do, and I invite clients to do as well when we're doing our healing and I'm teaching them acupressure points and teaching them meditation, I like to invite them to either have their hand over their heart chakra or over the abdomen, okay? So just choose one. Or you could do both. You could have one hand at the belly. That's really what I recommend. One hand. Go ahead and place one hand at your belly. And place the other hand at the heart chakra. Okay. And then you can repeat the affirmation. So the first affirmation we have is, I now release any stored anger from my body and my mind. All right. That's the first one. Cool. I'm looking at my lipstick and I wish I had more. I like a fuchsia, something just a little bit brighter. And I remember when I was in a makeup shop a while ago, the woman said the same thing. It's like, you can use, especially now that I've gotten a little bit darker, I like to have like a little pop of color on the lips or even a lighter neutral. So I kind of wish I had uh, put on a little bit more fuchsia color. I might go do that. I might go do that now. All right, let's make another one. So that's a very general one. Let's release and think about what would be a good affirmation for releasing anger towards family, but we're going to keep it general. So a lot of us have had issues with like maybe unsupportive mom or dad or unsupportive siblings, maybe jealousy in siblings. That was something that came up a couple weeks ago in a live, I remember. So let's say something like, I forgive my, let's say you can either put brother or sister, okay? Or whatever, my cousin. I forgive my, for any hurts. We're gonna change this a little bit, but let's write it down first. So I forgive my brother or sister, auntie, whatever, for any hurts they've caused. Now, I don't love it for a couple of reasons. Hey, y'all. I think that YouTube is definitely having some issues because I'm seeing numbers like really fluctuate. And typically, yeah. So I think there might be some connectivity issues, but I'm glad you're here if you're able to connect right now. I am live. It's Coach Viv, and we're workshopping affirmations to release anger. All right, release anger, release frustration. But say hi in the chat, folks. Come on now. Don't let me just sit in a room drinking tea by myself. And it is really good tea. It's a jasmine. It's a jasmine green tea, and that's one of the. I prefer jasmine tea to like plain green tea. Also matcha, just really, really good for us, good for the health, and gives us a little boost as well. What do you think of that? I forgive my blank for any hurts they've caused. I would say that's a starter affirmation, meaning I would improve it. So I'm going to say I forgive my brother, or I'm going to say I forgive all of those who have hurt me in the past. I don't love that either because I feel like with affirmations, we want it to end up feeling really good and we want it to feel positive, right? To give a good feeling. So I don't love those. I'm having trouble with this one because I think it might be, I like the first one. I now release any stored anger from my body and mind. So let me keep going and see if I can come up with something better. I let go of past hurts. I live in the present moment. Something like that. Okay? What do you think of that one? I let go of past hurts and I live in the present moment. I live in the present moment. That one is a nice one. I did not like number 2 very much. Hey y'all. We're working on affirmations to release frustration and anger so we can live a more divine feminine inspired life. And the divine feminine, really the hallmark of the divine feminine, and I mean in spirituality, in religion around the world, and prehistory, up to even contemporary times, goddesses always represented compassion and love. And let me turn off this lamp because does that make a difference? That's so slight. All right, I'll turn it off. Goddesses always had an aspect or were completely about love and compassion, almost like that mother archetype or the sensual, the wife, the girlfriend, the consort archetype, right? So that's why I'm going to go with um, the concept that I shared in my last video, that we need to let go of anger as best we can if we want to have a life that's more in flow, that's more in sync, where we can manifest more. All right? So let me know who's here. Let me know in the chat if you're here, and I'm going to open up a window, and so you're going to hear some seagulls, actually. All right? Which they're kind of loud, but we'll see. All right. We'll see if you hear the seagulls. they sometimes come and land like on the roof, and there was two of them earlier, and they were like, wah, wah. They were like squawking a lot. All right. So in the live chat, go ahead, say hi. And if you have an affirmation or if you have an issue you're working on, please let me know what it is, and I can workshop an affirmation for you. Okay. But again, around letting go, that's what this live is about. Letting go. Oh, there's a seagull going by. It's so pretty. All right. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to turn around and hopefully you'll be able to see out the window. Here. Can you guys see? Oop. There's a seagull going by. Oh, just another one. I don't know how clear that was. Did that come through clearly? Did that come through clearly? I'll only see it when I really watch the replay. So you guys know I love birds. I feel like nature is really calling to us to heal. So forgive me if I get distracted by that. Let's make some more affirmations to release frustration and hurt so that we can live a more divine feminine life. I let go of past hurts. I live in the present moment. I forgive and am forgiven. I forgive. I forgive and am forgiven. Now, I move on with my life. I move on with my life. I really like that one. I forgive and am forgiven. So I forgive and am forgiven. Now I move on with my life. Yeah, I really like that one a lot as well. So far, I still like number one the best. I now release any stored anger from my body and my mind. So I want to use words like release, let go, dissolve. Number 5, the 5th affirmation. I dissolve any blocks to love. I dissolve any blocks to receiving and giving love. All right, I like that a lot. What do you guys think? I dissolve any blocks to receiving and giving love. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to flip it to giving and receiving love. All right. What else? I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Is that bad for me to like use ChatGPT and then we can like tweak it? Oh my gosh. I think it's bad. I think it's bad. All right. I'm going to use ChatGPT and see what it comes up with. All right. So hang on. Okay. Chat. And this is my trained ChatGPT. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I know you know ChatGPT, but I have told it a little bit about myself. It knows about my YouTube channel. So let's see what it comes up with. It knows that I talk about the divine feminine. So I'm going to do, okay, what can I help you with? It says, all right, write 10 affirmations. I'm going to say in my style that encourage forgiveness, guys, I'm having typing trouble, forgiveness and letting go of past hurts. Okay, forgive, I spelled forgiveness wrong, guys, hold on. Forgiveness, okay. I think ChatGPT is smart enough to know what I mean. Write 10 affirmations in my style that encourage forgiveness and letting go of past hurts. And writing 10 affirmation, I'm going to say for women, because I think it might be slightly different. In my style, letting go of hurts. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. All right. Hey, y'all. So I've got some quiet people lurking. They're not saying hi. I am a little bit early today. So I'm earlier than I was doing. I think I was doing around 6 o'clock on Sunday. UK time, which would be 1 o'clock East Coast. So this is a bit earlier today. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT has come up with. Wow, you guys, this is why AI is scary. And again, remember, this is the first step because we don't want to be weighted down as we manifest our dreams, whether that's a new career, whether that's self employment, whether that's love, whether that's starting a family, whether that's enlarging your family, whether that's moving countries or moving lifestyles from city to country or from rural into urban, whatever it is you're wanting to manifest. In order to do it with our energy very focused and to make it more powerful, one of the things that I'm teaching is that we need to let go of this particular emotion, which is anger, because it binds our emotions up. Okay? If you want to hear more on that, watch my video that was really recent. It was the last one, How to Live a Divine Feminine Life and Reclaim Our Power. So this is about taking our power back. All right? From those who have harmed us in the past. We don't want to live with that. Okay, and this is hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. So ChatGPT came up with, I'm going to read a couple of them. I honor my past, but I no longer live there. I choose peace in this present moment. Okay, any comments on that? And I hope that, yeah, any comments on that? I'll read that one again. I honor my past, but I no longer live there. I like that. I like that. It's very, I don't know, just the metaphor of it, like it's a place and that's not where I am. I choose peace in this present moment. Okay. I forgive, not to excuse, but to set my spirit free. I forgive, not to excuse, but to set my spirit free. I like that one a lot. But there's something I want to change in it. I like the I forgive, not to excuse, because I know many of you, and I feel the same way, like, oh, but they were bad, they were hurtful, they were hateful, I didn't do anything, why? So that's why that not to excuse is important in there for many of us. But I want to say it differently. I forgive in order, I'm just going to go with I forgive to set my spirit free. And I have to acknowledge that it's not to excuse the hurt. Like if you were, assaulted, you were robbed, you were abused for 4 years in your childhood, you were in foster care. So you're not excusing that. What we are doing, Goddess and Divine Masculine watching as well, is we are refusing to carry the damage forward. We're refusing to carry the damage forward. Yeah. So I'm going to write that as the sixth one, and I'm going to say it as I forgive in order to set my spirit free. I like that. I like that a lot. I forgive in order to set my spirit free. My heart is a sacred space where love flows and old pain dissolves. I don't like that one as much. It's just too long. My heart is a sacred space where love flows and old pain dissolves. My heart is a sacred space filled with love. My, my heart is a sacred space filled with love. I dissolve old hurts. I think part of the reason I'm having trouble with this is when I generally teach about writing affirmations, I do try to leave out the negative language as much as possible because a lot of people say our subconscious doesn't only will hear that. I disagree with that, but I don't know if I want to use the word pain in there. Pain is so strong. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I see some of you are here. So what do you think? What do you think? You're watching, comment. Don't be afraid. Nobody's gonna, a helicopter's not gonna arrive at your house and like interrogate you. Okay, because I can see you're watching. I can see the numbers. So I'm not just sitting in my room alone. What do you think of this? Which ones have you liked And do you have one that you really like that you'd like to share? This tea is so good, you guys. It's jasmine green tea for those of you just joining, and I have a good amount of honey in there. I'm probably going to go add some more hot water. I know, do that while I'm live, but I'm going to do that. Let's see. I release what no longer serves. Oh, I love this one. I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. I love that one. That's my favorite one so far. That was written by ChatGPT. But remember, ChatGPT is combining all the genius of humans before. It's coming from what humans have done. So let's not just give it the credit, right? It's pulling, it's scraping human contribution. I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. I offer myself deep compassion as I soften into healing. Okay, let me know which one you like. And let's see a few more. Hold on, let me move it over to here. Each, I allow the divine feminine within me. Now, see, this is the amazingness of the AI. It knows what I talk about. It knows about my YouTube channel. And so it put that in. I did not even say anything about divine feminine, and it put it together to, I allow the divine feminine within me to alchemize pain into wisdom. I think for some of you, that's a really good one. If you especially feel that you're carrying a lot of pain in your body, and I mean emotional pain, but I do feel that, again, short of like even with an illness, a lot of times the pain illnesses are literally like the physical pain um, of the emotional pain we're carrying, if that makes sense. Like our body will give us physical pain when we're carrying emotional pain. Okay? I allow the divine feminine within me to alchemize pain into wisdom. I like that. And it knows I use the word alchemy a lot, right? So it's pulling out, oh, she says divine feminine and she uses the word alchemize. Alchemize is the idea of taking something that's bad or painful and making it like gold, making it something beautiful, something that's helpful. Hey, y'all, let me go back again to the screen. Hey, y'all, I think that I am just super early today. It's 4:38 here, so it is just 11:30 on Sunday, and I know some folks are at church or coming from. So, um, yeah, I'm earlier than I typically would be. I really wanted to be here when the light was really good and the sun is out, because that totally affects my energy. So I wanted to be here in good form. Let me read you a couple more of these forgiveness and healing affirmations. Each breath is a blessing. Each exhale is a release of what once weighed me down. I don't like it. Weighed me down, I don't like. So let's see if we can flip that. Each breath is a blessing. Each exhale, a release of what's no longer needed, or each exhale is a release and a letting go. Each breath is a blessing. Each exhale, a release of what is no longer needed. I think I'll leave that one at that. But I'm cutting off the weighed me down. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. I'm gonna get rid of that. Wow. Okay. I love this one. I'm gonna write this one down. I no longer carry what was never mine to hold. I no longer carry what was never mine to hold. I'm really getting that for some of you where maybe there was like family anger, like a rageful father. I had a father who was very filled with rage, um, and a mom who was like martyr a martyr. So he was angry and she was like the guilt the guilted, shamed one, right? That's the dynamic. And so I feel like those of us who had that experience, it isn't ours to hold. It might be a family trauma, right? So I no longer carry what was never mine to hold, right? I like that a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Yeah. Hey, y'all. See the numbers going up a little bit there. Hey, I have been workshopping affirmations to do with releasing anger, releasing frustration, hurts, so that we can live a more divine, femininely inspired life where we can flow, where we can create what we want. As I said, I believe we're in co creation. I don't believe we're just like poof and everything happens, because there's everybody else's desires, right? There's karma, there's chance, there's a lot going on. So there's a lot of different energies. Hey, if you're just joining, there's a lot of different energies. And so that's why I say, and my observation as someone who has manifested quite a bit, is that we're in co-creation. So I don't want you to think it's all your power. It's definitely the divine and human, which is, of course, infused with the divine. We're not separate, but there are factors that go into your creation. So let me know where you're tuning in from. As I see the numbers going up a little bit, it's getting a little later in the US. I know it's still, I think it's still right before noon right now. Yep. So it's still kind of early. But if you want to manifest, if you want to be more in flow, right? If you want to live your life more in flow, more in the magic that exists, the synchronicity that exists, then anger is one of the main emotions we have to let go of. And again, I want to send you, after this, watch my video, Divine Feminine Life, How to Live a Divine Feminine Life and Reclaim Your Power. It's gotten just about 300 views, 298. Okay, 298 right now. Let's take it to 300, please. And it is my number one ranking video that I've made recently. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. So you guys, yeah, as the numbers are going up, do you have any questions? Again, we're working on affirmations to release, let's say, any negativity. If I want to open it up to what you want. So now I'm going to close the window because there's a little bit of a wind, a little bit of a breeze. And I'll show you outside again. Oh, how pretty it is. Can you guys, it may not, see, yeah, the camera's not picking up. Hold on. My laptop camera, hold on, isn't picking up. Like there's like how bright pink and how bright the sky is. It's just not picking it. And the seagulls here, the seagulls. Okay, so do you want me to do an affirmation for you or workshop a powerful affirmation? We can speak it into truth. I see the numbers going up. I see that YouTube is letting folks know I'm live, because I just went live, y'all. I didn't really put, what you can do is like schedule it a little bit out, and I think YouTube sends out it sends out the notification. So I see the numbers going up. Say hi in the chat. Be polite. Say hi from the present because you're live. And let me know you're here. And please give the video a thumbs up if you like it so far. And I'm going to just go through the affirmations that have been created so far. Again, thank you. I can see the numbers. I can't see you, don't worry, but I can see the numbers. My dad, as he was getting dementia, he kept asking, for any of you, I don't know, who have parents with dementia or loved ones, he would ask, I can't quite do his accent, but can the people see us? He became convinced, you guys, that the people on the TV, which actually makes perfect sense. It does. He's like, I'm looking at them. Why aren't they looking at, they're looking at me? And we're like, no, Dad. And believe it or not, it took us quite a while to still really get that he had dementia. But that was his question. Though I have to share with you guys, I believe it's in the book 1984. Hey, all the numbers are going up now. Hey, YouTube is sending out notifications. Welcome, welcome. I believe it's the book 1984, which is dystopian. It's about a future which we're actually now living in. So, um, it was, but in that future, you were watched, like literally could be watched from your television. I don't know that we're not already at that technology. Clearly they can, can know what you're watching, but literally they could look in on you as you were looking out, right? So it was a two-way. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That was part of, I believe, of 1984. Yeah. And so, like I said, my dad with dementia had that question, and it's a perfectly legitimate question, right? Except that we'd answer him like a million times over months. Hello, Monica. You are from PA. Yeah. Grateful, happy that you're here, Monica. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Monica, I am having some jasmine tea. This is not my cup because it's got some, I'm going to show you. Okay. This is not me. If you followed my channel at all, you would know I would not choose a cup like this. All right. It's got like, first of all, clowns are a little scary to me. So it's got like a crazy clown. I don't know. This might be some famous artist. Okay. Then it's got some like other like horned creature. And then it's got like, I don't know what that is. Is that a rooster? I don't know what that is. And then it's like a fish. Um, it's like just all these crazy characters. What I actually love is the yellow on the inside. Like that's what I love. And I'm having some jasmine tea, and I'm here to work with you um, to create good affirmations, life-changing affirmations. I was just working with a client yesterday, and I was so proud of her. She had been working with her affirmations, and she made some really big changes. That's all I'm going to say, but some really, really big changes that she had wanted to make for years. So proud of her. If she's watching, she knows who she is. And part of it was affirmations. But I worked with her as well, teaching her acupressure points to help with a particular energy that she was struggling with. And it was an energy to do with the particular meridians, to do with how we were mothered, how we were loved or not loved, and creating that self mothering. So there literally are meridians that encourage that. And so I taught her a series of points and we did a whole routine. And over 3 sessions, she really made some big, big changes. And she also reported that she was sleeping better. She used to wake up between 3 and 4, which is very, very common. She no longer was. And I'm like, that's great. Because she was kind of taking it for granted. And I'm like, oh my God, remember, that was what one of the reasons you came to see me. You weren't sleeping well. And she's like, yeah, no, that's not happening anymore. I was like, okay. So a lot of times things change and we don't notice them. Like change for the good and we don't notice them. All right. So don't let that be you, because it's important to acknowledge, especially if you've done work to create some change. So these are some of the affirmations. Let me know what you guys think of them. I now release any stored anger from my body and my mind. Okay? This is to help you manifest better. Because you can do vision boards. You do your affirmations. You can do your vision board on Pinterest. You can do your paper vision board. You can write out your goals, you can chant them, you can visualize them. But I find that if your energy is stuck with the emotion of anger from the past, like I said in my previous video, there's a part of you that's like 50% of your energy is like this, right? And you don't have access to it to like send it out into the world and when you meet people to be like, to shine, right? So guys, this is really important. We have to do our shadow work. And so that's what I was talking about today. And I know some of you are coming in and I've already been talking about it. I'm going to give you some of the ones I really love. I no longer carry what was never mine to hold. I forgive in order to set my spirit free. I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. I really like that one a lot. I think what I like about that is the soul's unfolding. And that's kind of, I feel like that's where I am. Like for me, I have family members who Some have reconciled, but some just for decades we have not, been able to like be in good relationship, or we go through spells where it's a little bit better and then it gets, something happens. Um, and then it sours again. So let me know if that's happened to you, where you just have, especially for women, a lot of times we'll have a difficult relationship with our sisters. And I think for boys, I think for men, they may have a difficult relationship with brothers more so. So let me know if that's you. So that's why I like this one. I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. Okay, because your brother, your mother, your aunt, they may never fully love you the way you want them to. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Your brother, your sister, your auntie, whoever, your stepdad, your stepmom, they may never fully love or appreciate you as you are. So part of us, we can either get stuck, like stuck on that and never be able to move, or we choose to consciously say something like, I release what no longer serves my soul's unfolding. All right? Let's see. Let's keep going. I dissolve any blocks to giving and receiving love. I dissolve any blocks to giving and receiving love. I like that one a lot. Let me know what you think of that one. And say hi in the chat if you're just joining. Just type, hey Viv, I'm coming from, Kentucky, or I'm in Boston, or I'm in Plano, Texas. I don't know. Just throwing this out. I don't know why I got Plano, Texas. I'm in Joshua Tree. Uh, I'm in Portland. I'm in New Hampshire, just really randomly throwing out places. I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida. Um, I am in Bethesda, Maryland. Like, say hi from wherever you are. Okay. A couple more of these affirmations. I forgive and am forgiven now. I move on with my life. So some of you may feel that you did something. And guys, yeah, like I said, this is comfortable, but it's only comfortable if I literally call it. I don't know. It's weird to record a video like that. Okay, so I got to sit up, and it's hard because it's curved. It's like a big, huge pillow, but like kind of a high end. You kind of can you see that? It sits right on the floor, and can you see the tufting? And it's really comfortable. But if you sit up, you're kind of fighting with the furniture. It's almost like those bean bags from the '60s and '70s. I don't know if any of you remember those, like big old bean bags. They don't tend to make them as much, where you kind of just you flop into them. It's like a big tomato. You guys tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Am I crazy? Am I just talking about this by myself? The big tomatoes that you could sit and like. Okay. I let go of past hurts. I live in the present moment. I forgive blank for any hurts they've caused. I don't like that one as much. It doesn't feel empowering, and the forgive and the hurts and the cause I think is a little too harsh. So I don't love that one. I release now any stored anger from my body and my mind. I am free. Ooh. Okay, wait a minute. I am free. I am free of the past and healed and ready for the future. Okay, hold on here. I am free of the past and healed and ready for the future. I love that one. I love that one. All right, let's see. I think there's only two more ChatGPT ones. Let me see if I can bring them up. Okay. I trust the sacred timing of my healing journey. Okay. As I forgive, I rise. As I let go, I return to love. Nice. Chat. Wow. Okay, I like that. I'm going to write that down. As I forgive, I rise. I love that. Playing a little bit on Maya Angelou's, right? Still I rise. I think so. As I forgive, I rise. As I let go, As I let go, I return. I'm running out of space here. I return to love. All right. As I forgive, I rise. As I let go, I return to love. Okay, that is really nice. That is really, really nice. I offer myself deep compassion as I soften into healing. That was another one. So it gave me 10. I asked for 10 affirmations. Oh, and this is what it says to me. This is so hilarious. ChatGPT, the AI, says to me, "Of course, Vivine. Here are 10 affirmations crafted in a warm, soulful, and empowering tone, aligned with your style, encouraging forgiveness, healing, and the sacred art of letting go." I like that. I feel like there's a book, The Sacred Art of Letting Go. All right. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'm going to pause there. I might bring you to the kitchen with me because I really want to warm up my tea. But I'm not going to go any further till I get one more comment here live. There you go. Mel. Hey Mel. Hello from 11:56 a.m. Yeah, I think it's going to be noon. Rise and shine, everybody. I say that because I've been up for hours, right? Like if it were 12 noon, I'd be still like, oh. Okay. Yes. Good morning and blessings to all from Mel to all of you watching live and in the future. Hey Mel, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? And so you're from New York. We got Pennsylvania in the house. I'm gonna name some more towns. I want to say Auckland, New Zealand, which would be bizarre. I don't think I have many viewers from New Zealand. I have a lot of viewers from India, guys, because I, talk about the chakras and some yoga. Um, most of the viewers are from the U.S. and then I think it actually is India. It's not even England. It's India. It's interesting. Who else is here? So Mel, I was just doing affirmations, and let me see if I can pin you up, but I can't replace pinned message. All right. Okay, cool. So how's everybody doing? Would you like me also now? You have to say hi, or you're not. I won't pull cards for you. Um, okay, my phone is no longer on low power mode. That's great. I'm gonna go add some hot water to my jasmine tea. When I come back, I'm also going to see if you want me to check in energetically and work with you with any issue that's going on, okay? Again, it's Coach Viv here. I mostly work with women who are dealing with toxic levels of stress and who feel cut off from the divine feminine, from their own divine feminine, from their own intuition. They don't feel as embodied and as manifestful as they would like, and they're just not really feeling like the juice of life that they want to. And often it's because they may have been pushing themselves really hard, gotten burnt out or near burnout, okay? As I did at least once. So Mel says, my home grocery shopping, it's done, okay. Let's see, makes me happy. My dinner's all planned. I'm cooking and writing. I'm in my cozy mindset. That's wonderful. Yeah, so Mel, I have like 10 affirmations, some made with ChatGPT, but it's ChatGPT it's not my clone, but it kind of knows my voice. So that's what I'm working on. Both you and Monica, do you feel like you have any stored anger or frustration? That's my question. Do you have any stored anger or frustration? Be honest. That's what we're kind of working on. Do you have any stored anger or frustration? And if so, what is it about? What is it about? And I am going to go, and I'll be back in literally a minute and a half. I know that's weird, but there's this guy, those of you who know me from like a year ago, he would go to the bathroom. He's like, I gotta go, and he'd come back, and they just chat with themselves, which I thought was hilarious. They're like, yeah, he's gotta go to the bathroom. All right, so I'll be back. I want to answer that question, or at least think about it. Do you have any stored anger or frustration? All right, and I'm gonna go with my crazy cup, with my look at that crazy clown make some hot water, make my jasmine tea better. All right. Let's go get this party started. And guys, let me know if you want me to share how my nomading is going. Any questions also, right? Because, yeah, it took YouTube a while to send out notifications. So, really, put it in the chat. What do you want to know? Do you have any questions? I'll also answer them. All right. But my question for you is, do you have any stored anger or frustration that you're aware of? And if so, what about and what are you doing about it? Okay. Hey, Karina. Oh, I like that. Karina's mood. Karina's mood. Karina is having a slow Sunday morning, having some tea. So grateful to be able to tune into the live. Thank you, Karina. So, yeah, seriously, any questions you have? Again, if you're not super familiar, and I won't assume that you are, I am a retired professor, was sort of run out of teaching art by bullying. So I suffered PTSD, uh, basically, probably had a breakdown. That was years ago, but that really decimated my third chakra, my ability to kind of like decide what I want to do and go for it. And only recently am I nomading. And that's why you see I'm in different places. So I'm in this very modernist apartment right now, which I love. You guys, I don't want to really leave the apartment, but I have to. So ask me questions if you have questions about that. And I am traveling on a low budget. So if you generally have questions, some I can answer. I will. If you have questions more related to intuition and you want my intuitive vibe on a problem, you can also ask that. Okay. So I'm going to go get my tea now because I'm happy the numbers are going up. So there's a little group here. So whatever you want to ask me related to anything, basically spirituality. Okay. So yes, I'm a certified yoga teacher. I have practiced and studied meditation for like 25 years. I have sat, that means meditated for up to 6 weeks in complete silence, like for 6 weeks every single day for the majority of the day, sleeping like maybe 6, 7 hours. So okay, my tea's ready. I'll be back. So think about that. Ask any questions. And what I'm mostly coaching in now is taking women who are dealing with toxic stress, that it's affecting their health. And I'm teaching them meditation. And then I'm also teaching them specific acupressure points for whatever they're dealing with, whether it's insomnia, whether it's high blood pressure, um, literal stress. Okay. And that's what I'm coaching mostly. I'll be right back. Ah, okay. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. And so I've got my honey, my Tesco. Tesco, I actually like Tesco. Tesco is a British, they may be in other countries, but I don't know. They might be in Australia, but I quite like Tesco Express. It's almost like a 7-Eleven, you guys, but I like the stuff they carry. So I often shop at the Tesco Express in the UK. All right, numbers are going up now. Yes, I am energized. I should have stalled more in the beginning because I already came up with the affirmations. I could come up with more. All right, so I've got my jasmine tea, I've got my honey. Let me put a little honey in. And then I'm going to take your questions. I also do care about how are you guys doing? Okay. How are you dealing with the stress? How are you dealing with the shenanigans that are affecting your, Most of us have a little bit of retirement. Obviously, not you young ones, not you bliss babes, bliss boys. But any of us who, you've been working for some years, maybe you put a little retirement, you might be a little scared. So let me know what's happening with you. Okay. So, yeah, Karina, I'm glad you're here, Karina. You're having a slow Sunday. I love Sunday. Sunday's my favorite day. I'll tell you more, but I want to see your questions before I start talking about myself. We'll see. Monica says, hey, Monica, yes, with past choices, maybe confusion on my life's direction. I'm dating, happily separated. I'm a positive person working on healing. That's awesome, Monica. Yeah, we're all healing. We're all healing. I was watching something on Stephanie Perry's channel, and her channel is specifically for Black women who want to expat or at least take a sabbatical out of the U.S. And one woman was talking about how Stephanie said to her, "Well, oh, I thought you were healed," and she's like, "No, I'm healing." So it's a healing journey. But I'm glad you're dating. That's great. That is really great. Let's see. All right, let's see. Who else? Mel says, I've been reading Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is, because yes, I've been feeling disconnected and disappointed with people. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I have not read Byron Katie, but I know it doesn't quite smell as jasmine-y. I rebrewed it, meaning I'm so sensitive to caffeine, guys, that I can, from one tea bag, I'll dilute it a lot. So this is like made from 2 cups of water, but it's still, I don't smell the jasmine as much anymore. But a lot of people love Byron Katie, yeah. And that book, specifically Loving What Is. Karina says, one thing I'm working on now is being in flow, receiving and not letting outside factors interfere with my decision making. That's what I mean when I say sometimes I go live for just a couple people. That, Karina, that's exactly where I'm at and what I'm trying to talk about. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Spirit really taps me in to usually a few people, and then they're like, oh my gosh, this was really helpful. So yeah. When I talk about the divine feminine, and this is for men and women, the divine feminine is much more about flow. It's not so much about pre-planning. You can plan, but it's not like being rigid about your plans. Okay? That is one of the hallmarks of the divine feminine, is that flow. Okay? It's not a straight line. It's not the most direct way is that's how I'm going to do it. It's much more like meandering. All right? And it's very beautiful, but it's not how American society is built. Other societies are, but American society and the West, and I would even say the UK, since the UK spawned America, um, is not like that. Okay. So yeah, I hear you, Karina, on being in flow, receiving. Yes. Okay. Also, yoga wise, working on my hip flexors. Yeah, the hip, Karina, you might want to consider becoming a channel member, Karina. And any of you watching, where you see the video, if you look, it should have a join button. Okay, because what you're talking about is stuff that would be great to talk about during like our live, the members live that I'll do. It's going to be either the second or third week of the month. So I think I was really leaning towards the third week of the month. So we'll have a live. But yeah, the hip flexors often are tight if we've had a lot of trauma. Yep, it definitely is. And the psoas as well, right? Um, mhm. Monica says, life direction with maybe changing career and being open to love. I meditate, I breathe, I tap. Had a trauma childhood, but overall happy. That's awesome. Hey, calmly replied. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Get some tea, get some seltzer, some sparkling water, something pretty healthy. Even a good glass of red wine that has some antioxidants. I'm like, even drinking, you should try to be healthy. Okay, that is good. I put in enough honey and I can still taste a little bit of the jasmine. So calmly replied is here. Monica's here. Karina's here. Mel is here. Mel's in the house. And those are the folks. Hold on. Am I missing anybody who have said hello and just sharing where they are? Sounds like a lot of you are really in a healing place and we're just minding our business, right? And actually, I say that I have a variety of viewers. So some of you may not know, but many Black folks in the US now, we're just minding our business. We're just going to just stay back. We're just going to stay chilled out because we're like this. We're like, I told you. I told you what was going to happen and you didn't listen to me, right? Give me some hearts, people. Give me some hearts for that. I'm going to give myself some hearts on that. We told you what was going to happen. We tried to warn you. We tried to save you, girl. We tried. We tried, and you were just not listening. Thank you for the hearts. You were not listening, and now we're all. It's like crabs in a barrel. I'm just going to pull you down. You can't get out. I'm going to pull you down. Here we are. And here we are. And whatever your race and whatever your background, you're getting messed up with your retirement and your little 401k that you've saved for decades. You're getting screwed. So unless you're a billionaire, in which case you probably knew exactly what was going to happen and you could have bought low, because if you have billions to spare, do you think you could buy up the stocks when they're low, right? When everybody's panicking? And then when it goes back up, do you realize how much money you make? I just held. I just didn't look, you guys. That was my way. Thank you, calmly. That was my way. Yeah, it's and I love, like, Karina, I really love your name, Karina's Mood, because it's just I'm getting chills as I speak. So sometimes when I really tap into something, I'll feel it in my body, and that's also very divine feminine. Again, as a woman, for the women watching, you really need to tune into your body. I talked about that in that video that I'm sending you guys to after this, the one titled How to Live a Divine Feminine Life. How to, and reclaim our power. One of it is we really have to be in our bodies because we'll feel truth in our bodies, or we'll feel attention and we'll be like, okay, what is that? So our bodies are like a bellwether. Our bodies are like telling us, listen, or like, don't go there, don't go there, don't trust that person, or wait. Yeah, all of this was baked into this. Yeah, I mean, you were doing pretty good with your little retirement. I think some of us were like, okay, I'll give it 20 years, it's going up, and it certainly was doing fine under Biden. It absolutely was. I was like, okay, this is how investment works, right? And then I look back and I see in one day what happened with he whose name shall not be spoken. See, I gotta clear my energy. I'm serious. Yeah, there's some toxic shit going around clearly in the world. And I mentioned this in my members live. It's a spiritual battle. We've all watched these movies where they literally fight. They fight with a sword, they fight with a saber, they fight, with whatever, their kung fu. This is what's happening now. You have to just keep your energy clean. You have to keep it clear. So, like, even in the evenings, all of you watching this, okay, do something to kind of clear your energy, whether it's just taking a shower and intending putting some essential oil. This is what I do. Just literally put a couple drops of essential oil, like in the shower, but not where it gets washed away right away. Does that make sense? So, like, put it where the soap is. And as the water kind of trickles down but doesn't wash it away, you'll get that scent. You could even try putting a crystal like obsidian, one of the crystals that's very absorbent of negative energy. Put that like in the bathtub, in the shower, and the water kind of collects a little, and just feel and imagine that anything negative is draining out of you. The toxicity of the day, the news, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma. I have a dear friend who's terrified about what's going on, and so she calls me. And you guys, I'm not going to just tell her, like, shut up, right? So I listen to her, but I need to just be like, nope, not mine, not mine. Just move it through, move it through. Because what we have to not do, I'm not saying don't know. You want to know, you need to know what's going on, but you also need to be like, yep, in the world, but not of it. In the world, but not of it. And many of us, not all of you watching, but many of you, that is what you're here to do. You're here to heal, to advise, to nurture, to love. And so getting caught in every nitty gritty, Okay, you're hearing me? Every nitty gritty of he did this, and oh my God, and then that was a rape, and then that was a pedophile, and he was a predator. That's not where you're supposed to live. Okay? And I don't care who calls that spiritual bypassing. Some people need to live in the mud. I'm not saying, again, you can't talk about it or acknowledge it, but I'm saying don't live there. Okay? Do you follow me? Are you with me? And I see a lot of channels that I really don't like this, mostly aimed at the Black community. That's just gossip. That's just gossip and negative gossip. Like, what's her face, who's doing better now, who ended up, many people are saying it was karma, right? She was basically relieved of her money, and they said she had some sort of dementia, and somebody basically took over for her, but basically took all her rights away. But her, Wendy Williams, and but her whole topics, a lot of her topics were really hurtful to people, were really negative on people, especially back in the day. So I'm just saying, don't live there. Don't live in that energy of just real negative gossip and following it day to day. Ooh, so and so divorced, and it is seductive. I'm not saying it's not. I I totally get sucked in, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? Enough. If I can catch myself, I breathe. I'm like, I don't really care about these people. I will never meet these people. I will never meet these people. I giving them my precious energy, it just doesn't make any kind of sense. So be very clear about what you consume, okay? Be very clear about what you consume. It's one. I've been live for an hour and 11 minutes right now. So it's 111. Okay, so reset yourself right now. Let's reset. There are those who will want to drag us down because they're in the mud. And as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, you go high. We go high. That's what we have to do. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. And any questions? I'm going to read some of the affirmations, just a few of them. Again, we were working with affirmations and the intention. Even if you're cooking, you can't pay attention now to me 100%. But my message for you today was just that you want to release stored anger, frustration, because it does toxify the body. How it affects the liver meridian. Okay, so while all of you are here, let me get to some of the nitty gritty that underlies this theory. The liver is crucial. The liver literally can regrow parts of itself. Okay, think about how amazing that is, that it can regrow, right, under the right conditions. And the liver is what processes in holistic systems. The liver really has a lot to do with processing emotions of anger, frustration. And it goes from mild to, like, anger's the top, but frustration, irritability, right? Okay. That's a spectrum of sort of on the anger spectrum. And so if you want to live a life that is more under your control, that is more charmed, even is the word I'm going to use, you do need to, like, filter the anger, process it, and release it. And I know it's hard. Okay. So give me your comments. What do you think about that? It is difficult to do, but it will give you so many benefits. I'm seeing that as I'm working through this, and I still have a ways to go because I do come from, as many of us do, there's been a lot of trauma, drama, especially when I was little, not really in my adult life. Well, again, with the job. Um, you may have family issues. So let me know. And have you done anything where you feel, next question, that you've worked through it? Have you worked through the anger and frustration to a great degree? All right, let me know. Let me know in the chat. And give me about 2 minutes because it takes a while for YouTube to pop it up on my screen. My crazy cup. I don't know who. Oh, is that a frog? That's a frog with a fish head. Huh. I feel like this is some artist I should know or something, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This might have even been custom printed, but yeah, this is not my mug. So let's see. Let me read your comments. Stress kills and makes you sick. You have to let things go. Yes, yes. So absolutely. I think more of us are realizing that, Monica. I'm going to pin your comment. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I'm not in my other thing, which gives me more options, but I'm going to see if I can. Okay, hold on. How do I do that? I did it before. Top chat. Okay, put this to top chat. Live chat. Okay, hold on. It can, but it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go, Monica. It's not so easy. Here we go. I pinned your message up. Toxic jobs. Okay. Of course, my nose is itching now. Toxic jobs, jobs where we have no sort of freedom to kind of do things the way we want. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to do this for a second. You can see some art, see a clean ceiling top of my head. So yeah, stress definitely kills, and that's why, especially in communities of color, and I want to say African Americans have among the highest rates of high blood pressure in the world. In the whole world, Black people are among the top. I don't know if we're the very top, but we're among the top, and many health organizations use high blood pressure stats as a way to correlate how happy people are. So obviously higher rates of high blood pressure, a less happy population. All right. So yeah, stress. And that's why I'm really, working with clients to find ways, because I think many of us intellectually we know we're under stress, but we keep going because we have that trope, especially for Black women, the strong Black woman. You're not going to complain. You're not going to go to therapy. Nobody's going to listen to you. Don't be a princess. Just keep going, right? Be strong. And so that can lead us to not taking good care, or to thinking we're doing better than we are. Or, and I'm not blaming anyone, but this is what I see. I think a lot of us eat our stress. So we eat more, and there are reasons for that in the holistic system that I've studied. When you put on weight, it is literally insulation against hurts and shocks. So literally, a body that is more full, that carries more weight, is more stable and steady feeling. And so as traumas, it's like it's sort of almost absorbing the trauma. Your body is literally almost more protective of you when you have more weight on you. Okay. And again, there have been people who have lost great amount of weights who have said that was part of the having so much weight on. They felt more protected. Sometimes, especially if you've been sexually abused too, but it doesn't have to just be sexual abuse. Any type of trauma. And so food is nourishment, right? So eating is a positive, but then, right, where does it become more of a sedation? Food can sedate you, guys, especially sweets are specifically have a more sedating effect. As some of you know, also dairy can be very more sedating. So if you're really stressed, you might crave foods that are kind of cooling you down, right? Instead of dealing with it. Okay, so I'm going to look at your comments because I saw some coming in. This is more about knowledge. This is knowledge, and then you can choose and you can decide. If you just sort of deny everything and say everything's fine, and that's what I see with many people, then you can't take action. You don't have any control. Okay, that's why I bring this up. So I think for some of us, we eat our stress. And again, it does serve us in a certain way. It gives a short term sense of more peace, more grounded, and all of that. Okay. So, just the same way that somebody who's anorexic is vulnerable, right? They don't have enough body fat. So fat actually has a function in humans that has an emotional aspect as well. So, yes, Monica, thank you for sharing that. That, yeah, we have to let things go. Forgive those who hurt us. They did the best they could. Life is beautiful and a blessing. Wow. That's a lot about blood pressure. Yeah. It's a barrier weight. Monica, yeah, exactly. Thank you. It is a barrier. it is a barrier. What pisses me off about science sometimes is science is very like literal. Oh, well, no, if you eat the same, these calories are always the same, blah, blah, blah. Certain things where it doesn't take into account things that are harder to measure. So yes, weight is a barrier. It gives you a shield between you and like a harsh world, right? That's what it literally does. You have more insulation, literally, right? Like I told you, I was being funny. I was down right by the ocean. The ocean is like a 5 minute walk away, but it was choppy today, guys. It was really windy. I'm in the south coast of the UK, and you could see it. Like it was like phew, the waves were big and wow. And I was freezing, and I was wearing this thick scarf, and people are in like shorts. The Brits are in like shorts and like t-shirts, and they're just like, aren't you people cold? What is wrong with you people? Right? And they don't care. They're just like, I don't know who that woman is, but she's probably American. So I'll bundle up. So we get used to everything, right? We get used to things. If you grew up by the windy ocean, it's going to feel normal to you, or somebody coming who's just like, oh my God, I'm freezing. So, do you want me to rework any affirmations? Monica, what's your favorite affirmation? And calmly reply, do you have a favorite affirmation that you haven't shared yet? And specifically, because I do want to kind of keep to my topic of, as I said, it's this how to lead a divine feminine life. A life led more by the divine feminine is what I really want to say, but it was too long for a title. And then let me know if you guys want to know how I'm doing in the UK, how the traveling, all of that. And yes, barrier weight is exactly. So that is not a judgment. It's like literally, it's like if you put on, right? Some people have put on sunscreen. It's a barrier. It's like a protection against, right? So some people don't have to, and some people do. So in the same way, for some people, putting on weight really serves to protect them. Maybe they're a very gentle soul. They're a very gentle spirit. Um, they're dealing with a lot. I'm thinking of one person in particular in my life, and food is like the only comfort they really have right now. Okay. Now for me, thank God, I don't know. I can, because, I do have a thing with sweets. My Tesco honey. Clear honey. In the UK, they're like clear honey. We don't do that in the US. I mean, it's either honey or we call it, what do we call the whole honey? The thick honey, but we don't, they have like clear honey, then they have honey that's like really honey. Anyway, Monica says, all is well. Out of this, good will come. Yes, Monica, I love that one. That is Louise Hay. Yeah, Louise Hay. Yeah. All is well. Out of this, and I think she says, only good will come. She might say, only good will come. Hold on, guys. I might have to take off a layer. Hold on. I'm wearing 3 layers sitting in a house with windows closed. That's how cold I was out by the ocean. So I love that one. All is well. All is well. Oh. Out of this, yeah, I think she said only good will come. And she said that even as she was very, very old. And I think even months before she passed away, she said that. And it just really hit my heart in this beautiful way, because I could hear her almost like her spirit saying, even unto death, she wasn't afraid, because she's like, I don't, only good will come of this. Like, why assume that death is some horrible thing? I have often had the thought, and I hope this doesn't it may turn off some of you, but I've often had the literal thought, which is a fact, since we don't absolutely know what happens after we pass away. So I'm like, the people who pass away could actually be happier. How do you know that we aren't suffering more on earth than the people who have passed away? Whatever phase they're in, whatever your religion, right? Because many religions are, oh, there's a phase of time, people are doing this, and then they're in the spirit world or whatever. But it's like we could be the ones having a worse life. When my dear friend passed away, you guys, and I think I've been to share this once, but it's important. I will share it over and over. I felt I was not told, I did not know I didn't know consciously that he'd passed. No one had told me, and I wasn't in the same town. But I woke up that day, wouldn't lie to you about this. I felt very, very light. So he was in the hospital. He was seriously ill. It was bad, like hospice level, like he's going. But I woke up like energized, light, and something said, "Get a cup of tea." I literally went to my health food store, got a cup of tea, and it's like, "Go sit by the water." And as I'm walking to the water, I literally heard his voice say, "It's okay." And I'm gonna get choked up. And so I'm walking with like my, not this cup, but with like my paper cup. And like I said, I felt a lightness. And I even said to myself, why? I literally am like, why do I feel so good? And then I heard his voice say also, don't worry about so and so. There was somebody, there were some problems as he was very ill, um, with a mutual friend. And it said, and I literally heard a voice say, don't worry about that. It's between, I'll say them. It's between them and me. Swear to you guys. Said it's between them and me. And then, so I went and sat by the water. And I don't remember if I was still by the water or when I got home. I think it was when I got home. And I think his spirit, like, so I had this beautiful morning. I sat by the water, not an ocean, just a lake. And then I found out, I got a call that he had passed away. And I was like, oh, right? It made so much sense, you guys. Like, of course, I don't have tissue. It made so much sense, but it just hadn't occurred to me because I felt really good. And I realized I felt light. It was a lightness of spirit. Weeks later, I spoke to a girlfriend of his who I did not know. And I had never met her, you guys, but she was a very dear friend of his from his childhood. And so I was pinpointing, I was telling her that, and she was trying to remember back. So it was a couple months later, and she goes, Vivine, I felt the same thing. And I want to say it was a Sunday, you guys. It was a Sunday. She said, I went to church and I also felt very light, very good. Like something felt different. And we were tracking it back because I'm really fuzzy with dates and stuff, like that sort of more conscious stuff. And that's often the case with people who are like intuitive. And she's like, that was the day he died. It's like that. And she didn't know. Nobody had told her because she was more distant to him. I found out, I was like one of the first or like the second person to find out he had passed. And so when we traced it back, she also felt his spirit. It was amazing. And then get this, the person who was with him as he passed, you guys, because I wasn't there. I was in my hometown. The person who was literally with him, holding his hand as he passed, that next day, I think it was, there was a rainbow. He sent me a picture. There was a rainbow on his dining table. This gorgeous rainbow was cast. And he took a picture and sent it to me. And he's like, this was Ken. And I believe rainbows, like personally, no, nothing, I have read about it. But when my mother passed, I know I'm making this a long story, but it's true. This is when I first connected. Rainbows are usually a good sign for me. My mother had passed. I was taking the train back up to the hospital to say goodbye to her. She was in the hospital. Other family was already there. I had gone home that night to sleep because I had been with her for like days. Three of us, my sisters, we'd been there. We've been sleeping at the hospital anyway. And I said, Mom, give me a sign. And I swear to you, on the train, on the New York City subway, the elevated, across from me there's the window, and then there's a little ledge on the new ones. Give me a heart if you guys know. Do you know what I'm saying? The window obviously doesn't go straight into like the wall. There's like a ledge, and on the ledge, there was a rainbow, and I have never seen that before. And it was right in front of me, you guys. I was like, give me a sign if you're okay or your spirit is free or something. And I was sitting with the same friend who I was telling you passed. And I turned to him, I said, do you see that? And he's like, yeah, it's a rainbow. There's a rainbow on there. And it lasted for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, right in front of me. And I was like, wow. So rainbows for me often have been with people passing, but that their spirit or their soul is free. Anyway, like I said, you guys, I felt this joy, this lightness. So this is wrapping up my story where I'm saying once the person passes, the actual passing can be stressful, I think, for our spirit, because it's like you're in a body and then you're not. But I'm telling you, I felt this freedom that my friend was experiencing. Yeah, oh, I do ask for a sign, Monica, always. Yeah, yeah, always I ask for a sign. So I felt this lightness, and I'm like, why do I feel so happy? Nothing had happened. I woke up. I was like, get some tea, go sit in the park, and I'd been struggling. We knew he was really sick. We knew, well, we thought he would go into this nursing home, which he didn't want to go to. Um, but he was in the hospital, but he ended up passing in the hospital. So, and it was his spirit. Like I said, it was really, and we were very, very close. A friend of mine who was a shaman later told me that he was my twin flame, even though we were not girlfriend and boyfriend. That she's like, no, he was your twin flame. So very, very joined, very, very connected. Yeah. So that's my story. That's my story. So Monica says yes to that, the barrier weight. Popular examples. Mel says popular examples include acacia honey, clover honey, buckwheat honey. Yes, 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 wildflower honey. Oh God, Mel, you named all the types of honey, but I just meant like the generic name. Like in the UK, they'll say clear honey, and it's always they filtered it. I usually don't get honey like I like the honey that's the whole honey. So which one is that? Like the Manuka, or I like all those flavors. I love orange blossom, but the one that's thicker, because I do think they filtered out the heavier particles of the honey, which I want all of it in there. I think it's more medicinal. But yeah, you named all the types of honey. I love orange blossom honey specifically. It's really, really good. Karina says, I often affirm and remind myself I am a magnet for miracles, wealth, and joy. I receive with grace and gratitude. But those are some that I've made up and wrote for myself. No, that's beautiful. I'm a magnet for miracles. I like that. All right, I'm going to write that down. Because once I get off the air with you guys, I might forget it. And I really do like that. I'm a magnet for miracles. I also do. I'm a money magnet, but I need to do that more. Let's see. I am a magnet for miracles. So you guys want to know about my magical day today? It's so convoluted. I don't even know if I can tell the story. I think I basically made a new friend today because you guys know as I'm traveling around, I am traveling by myself. And so, I'm in towns where I don't know anybody, but my intuition, I don't even know how much detail I should give because I'm still in the town, and like many YouTubers, I like to wait till I'm not in a town. It sounds kind of paranoid, but it isn't. I usually don't talk about the town as I'm in it. I typically. That's just me. Okay? That's just me. Like I said, many YouTubers also do that. Obviously, the 14-year-old or the 20-year-old YouTubers are like, "Oh, I'm in Nagasaki. Come find me." Yeah. No, we're not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, those are really good, Karina. I receive with grace and gratitude is also really beautiful. That is really beautiful. Calmly says, God's love is in me and I am love. Wow, you guys, that is really nice. God's love is in me and I am love. I am God's love. I like that. I want to shorten it somehow. The love of God is in me. The love of God, calmly. I the love of God is in me and with me, or the love of God is with me. Hmm. I like the love of God is always with me. Okay. Mel says, I spoke to Louise Hay once. She was amazing. Mel, you actually spoke to her. How did you get to talk to her? Like, did you wait around after like a speech or something? How did you get to speak with her? Because she was a really big public figure. So how did you get to speak with her? I mean, she's kind of like a movie star and I'm not afraid to use New Age. We are entering a new age. What I find is that many of those who want to keep an old world order and maybe create a new world order where they're in charge only, they take words and they dirty them and they change the meaning They change the original meaning, rebrand it, and then use it as like a weapon. So there was no problem with New Age till people who were anti New Age are like, oh, that's just New Age bullshit. Well, do you know how much New Age woo woo is being proven? Right now, they're talking about, oh, yeah, visualization absolutely works, but they call it something else. Because if they called it visualization, it would be like, oh, you mean what those people have been saying for decades? I'm serious here. There's a new, more executive coaching word for visualization, not reframing, um, pre-performance something, and it's the same thing, but they get to call it something else. Okay, so I'm so jealous that you got to talk to Louise Hay, but she was amazing. That woman really exuded. I I just know she worked in the early days. With really marginalized communities. I think she was in San Francisco, and she was one of the few kind of, because she was a preacher of like New Thought Church or something, and she worked with gay men who were dropping dropping from the AIDS virus. This is very early on, and she worked with them, and whether they passed away or not, she basically helped them die with peace, live with dignity, because there was a lot of guilt and a lot of shame in the early days of the AIDS crisis, and people really didn't understand much about it. She was out there, and I think in San Francisco, and she really built a strong following. And then she wrote her little booklet, because people are like these, and she talked also about how your body's illnesses can reflect blocked emotions. And that little booklet became a book, you guys, called "You Can Heal Your Body." I think it's "You Can Heal Your Body." You Can Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, which is fantastic. She basically correlates different symptoms like migraine or backache to different emotions that we have. Like backache might be related to fear or feeling burdened. And so it's a very good book. I highly recommend it. You Can Heal Your Body, I think is what it's called. And she spoke all around the country. And so then from that, she got bigger. Then she started Hay House. So she just, her sort of ministry grew, and she, started her publishing company, which is literally now in maybe 10 countries, like 6 countries, and then has the power of now, I believe, is Hay House. I could be wrong. Many, many books you would have heard of are published by Hay House. In fact, the sister that she had her oracle deck, the goddess oracle deck, that I did 2 videos. I did a review of her oracle deck, Abiola Abrams, and it's a African Orisha. It's Oshun. Her Oshun deck, I believe, she is published by Hay House, which is a very big deal. And that was started by this woman, Louise Hay. So very, very kind, very, she proved it. She proved that this works through her own life, because she didn't like come from a lot of money. I think she did some modeling when she was younger, like just kind of average modeling, not like high fashion. And through this work, she built and helped people change their lives, right? And then wrote several of her own books, and then started her publishing. Yeah. So God bless her. She was really, really something. Monica says, yes, he visited you. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was without a doubt, because Monica, it was so different than the days previously. And like I said, and I didn't know, I think also so his spirit came first to kind of soothe me. And I heard, even when I heard that, I still was like, I still thought he was in his body, but like I heard, don't worry about me and so and so. There was something, like I said, I was really upset about. I couldn't fix it for my friend as he's dying. I was like, I can't get this. I can't fix this. And he's just like, it's between him and me. Don't even worry about it. The minute he was out of his body, it's as if, and I've heard this about spirits, right? When people pass and they become ancestors, suddenly some of the issues that they had, they disappear. So before, him and this other person were loggerheads. They were like, come on, and I felt kind of in the middle. And he's just like, yeah, don't even worry about it. It's between me and him. You can't, there was nothing you could do. And I was like, but I still thought my friend was in his body. I thought we were just like, it was just a sort of mental communication. Still didn't realize he had passed away. So yeah, you can definitely ask for a sign. You can definitely ask for a sign. And back to God's love is in me and I am love. What are some best practices to help with shame? Hi, FTL. Yeah, I would write it out. Like, what are you ashamed of? I would like journal about it. Give yourself a timer and just be like, I feel such and such. Like, just start writing, just like free writing, it's called, and just write, I feel I'm not good enough. I've let down so and so. Often there's a feeling we've let somebody else down, right? Think about it. We don't tend to be ashamed for ourselves. We're ashamed of ourselves because of something we've done or didn't do that affected somebody else, or that somebody else let us know they didn't like. Does that make sense? That's what I think. So I would do writing practice, write it out, and try to get to the point where the tears do come, right? Where you tap into what exactly do you feel not good enough? Is it because a sister or a brother was always praised? Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's so talented. Like what's the source of the shame? And I would just really try to write it out, feel it, and then over time, a couple of days, couple of weeks, maybe write some affirmations that counter it. So if it's that I'm not good enough or I never get anything right, once you tap into what it is, what's the core of it? What's the core of it, FDL? Then I would make an affirmation to start to turn it like, um, my best is good enough. I do the best I can and I'm deserving of love. Like, to counter what the feelings are. Okay? But I also believe in therapy, you guys. Now, I am not sponsored by what is that? BetterHelp, right? Somebody was making a joke about that because everybody on YouTube is sponsored by BetterHelp. And I I don't use them. I believe in therapy, but I think it's best if you can get a therapist in person, okay? I would, if BetterHelp wants to sponsor me, I would, because like right now, because I'm traveling, I don't have a therapist and I would like one. And so it would be somebody online. Even when I was in one spot, I saw my therapist online. That was better for me. That's just what I did. So, FTL, I hope that's helpful. I really think a professional therapist, a good one, is worth their weight in gold. Friends are wonderful to talk about stuff, but friends aren't professionals. They don't have the in-depth understanding of the mind and the way the mind kind of works with things that have happened that a professional does. So I would include getting therapy. And one thing, if you are, income challenged, I mean, and who isn't right now, right? Um, a lot of communities, and this is before he whose name shall not be spoken, had community clinics. And so a lot of my therapy was in community clinics. I wasn't paying a therapist, $150 an hour. I was going to a community sponsored clinic that was based on income and, if I paid anything at all. Okay. And those did exist to help people in the United States. I don't know if it still does. Because God knows we should just probably just not even care about each other at all and just let society just go, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Monica says, I'd say self love, forgiveness, being thankful for everything. Monica, it sounds like, yeah, you're really on a good path. You are. Yes, it's science backed. Oh, well, they find out after. At first, they always denigrate it, they always put it down initially because it hasn't been studied. But that's how science is. I mean, and I do understand that, right? So then they study it and they're like, oh, that, yeah, that works. But they'll usually give it a different name. So there is something in terms of goal achievement. And like I said, with executives and athletes, everybody knows that Olympic athletes visualize. They literally spend a lot of time seeing themselves doing exactly what they want and seeing the timer with the winning time, hearing the crowd roar, right? seeing the medal being handed to them. They feel themselves bowing for the medal to be put over their head. You got to do all of that. You have to do all of that, right? All that woo woo. Yeah. And you practice. And you practice. So, guys, all right. I think I've been live for an hour and almost 45 minutes. So, if you don't have any questions about just traveling and traveling on a low budget, being, I actually slightly, my face is getting fuller again. I feel like, I'll tell you the truth, guys, my face just suddenly fell. Like all the collagen, all the fat came out of my face. And I was like, oh my God, I suddenly look older, because for many, many years I looked way younger than I was. And then and then suddenly with the stress of the end of last year, I would say, and going into the election cycle. And I am very sensitive. A lot of what is happening, you guys, I was afraid would happen. It's happened faster than I thought it would. And as I've said, those of you who really follow me, I've said, Spirit said to me, get out. So I was, like, I've got to get out. Hi, FTL. Yeah. And so I could just see the stress in my face. Of course, we all age, but it felt like it wasn't gradual. It felt like I was like really good. And then I was like, and that's why I was mad. I'm like, wait a minute. Gradual, aging gracefully. Yes. That's nice. But I don't want to be like this, like, right? I don't want to plummet. FTL. Yes, yes, yes. So I hope that was helpful, FTL. All right. Oh, huh. Okay. Wait, was the yes that you want to know about? So that's in terms of my manifesting. I'm working with affirmations to be able to pull this off. I've been traveling for 2 months now on a relatively low budget. Um, I manifested, for those of you who don't know, I manifested at an odd time someone to take my apartment, cover those bills, right? Because so obviously I couldn't afford, nor would I really want to have bills back home and then I'm paying bills as I'm traveling, right? So I was able to manifest, like, focus, manifest beautifully someone who loves being in my place. The bills are being paid, they're happy. That's very important to me. Whenever I manifest, and always when I teach manifestation or work with clients where it comes up, don't just be like what you want. Don't just be about what you want. The best manifestation is when there's literally somebody has something that you're wanting, and the two of you are like this. That's what you want. That's how you master manifestation. So even with my place, the person who is there now literally reached out to me the second time because I missed it the first time. The second time, they're like, I reached out to you. Is it still available? I'm like, oh my God, I did not hear from you. Absolutely, it's still available. And they said to me, your type of place was the style of home that I wanted. They had a specific in their mind, you guys. That's how it can work. They're like, this is what I want. The setting, the the layout of your place is what I'm looking for. And I'm like, oh my God, you're what I'm looking for. And it's like this. And that's divine manifestation. So it's not about, unlike he whose name shall not be spoken, it's not about pummeling people. It's not about being the top dog at somebody else's expense. It isn't. It's about, if you can connect up to spirit, right? See what you want. You don't have to know the how. Leave that to God, leave that to spirit, leave that to the divine. This is very important. Any of you watching this that have trouble manifesting, don't try to figure out each step by step, because you do not have the God vision. I feel like I got to make a video called that. You don't have that vision from here of down here. You're a little person and you're right in it. You're in the mix. You're not above here. So get clear on what you desire. Be flexible still, right? But if you know you want to really, it's important to you to live by water. Maybe don't say I have to be on the water. Maybe you're a minute from the water and the house is it's like half the price. Do you see what I'm saying? Have some flexibility and then put that out to spirit and then start taking the steps, start walking the walk, and you'll be guided. Okay, go this way, take this step, call this person, look in this book, open this magazine. because that was my day today, you guys. Again, I won't go into total details. Wait, I'm just seeing a comment that I didn't see. Okay. I won't go, hi, KHLE, but I'll tell it to you this way. I read a magazine article about the town I'm in, and it was really cool. It's like, oh, this is a cool town. And I was like really excited, and there were several things I wanted to see. Now, I don't think it gave exact addresses, right? Because it's a magazine article. They're like, it's in this town, look it up, go to the website. So I'm walking around the town now. I don't have the magazine. I don't know, I couldn't pull it up on my phone. And I literally, you guys, walked into like three of like, there are four things maybe I wanted to do. And I like walked into three of them. One was an art gallery. And I'm like, yeah, I really want to see that gallery for several reasons. I won't go into details, right? There was, and I'm walking down a street and I'm like, wait a minute. And I look at and the person who was featured in the magazine is sitting in the gallery, and I'm like, I spent 2 hours talking to this person. That's serendipity. I spent 2 hours, if not more, befriending the person, the gallery person, making these contacts. We exchanged information. Like, that's what I mean. I saw the magazine and I'm like, huh, you get a little inkling. You're like, oh, there's something, you know. Another was a like, just call it like a tourist site of a famous person where they live part of their life, and I wanted to see that as well. But you guys, again, I'm literally lost. I am not making this up. I was literally lost in the town. But I'm not panicking. I'm like, I know it was that direction. I just don't really know how to get back to that street because the streets are really convoluted. So I end up walking. I end up making another friend who says to me, well, where are you trying to go? And I'm like, let me look at my phone. Okay. All right, this is where I'm trying to go. She goes, I live on that street. I'll take you. Talk to me about serendipity, right? I'm sitting in a park by myself and really enjoying myself. And I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to talk to somebody. Woman my age comes walking by. She has a cane though, and she's walking by, and she looks at me, and I say something, and she like literally comes over. She looks at the seat next to me. She sits down. I'm like, okay, make yourself comfortable. We talk for like an hour, and then at the end, I'm like, yeah, so I gotta go. I gotta find my way home. I don't know. And she's like, yeah, I live on that street, and she walks me home. It's hilarious. While she's walking me home, this is what I mean. It's convoluted to tell you, but you can see how magical this is. While she's walking me home, the other house I wanted to see that is like a landmark, basically, I walk by it. I'm like, wait a minute. And the plaque is on there, and I'm like, that's the blah blah blah. Oh, I wanted to see this. Oh my God. Oh. And she's like, yeah. And I stand there and I look at it and I'm like, I didn't know how to find this place, and here it is. So this is really extreme divine feminine, extreme flow. Not all of you are going to be fine with this, but you guys would just be like, well, let me look up the address. But if I had looked up the address, I would then have to map quest and be like literally walking around the town like this. Instead, I'm like, okay, go here, and I find what I am looking for. And I have to tell you, that is a higher level because most people, like even for me, when I'm in that flow, it is really magical. So like I said, made two new friends at with the gallery thing. The lady who I ended up talking to was just a nice conversation. She turns out she's an artist. You can't make this up. Had some wild stories, walked me to my door because I was like, I don't know, I'm lost. And it turns out, you guys, I was literally like not even a block from where I was supposed to be. So I wasn't really lost. I was one street over. It was amazing. That was my day. I mixed yesterday and today. So give me a heart if you thought that was magical. Because, like I said, just wandering around, finding everything I wanted to do by accident. So that is being in the flow. That is letting yourself be guided. Um, just being a little bit of a free spirit and making the connections that maybe God has laid out for you. I would say spirit has laid out for you. You've expressed your desires, and then it'll be like you'll find these little chocolates, like these little lollipops for you. Like you take one and then you go, and then there's another. And so life can really be that magical. All right. Meditation really helps. I meditated this morning because that gives you some stillness enough where you kind of are like, like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try that. Where you can feel, is this safe? Is this not safe? Um, oh, I should go to the left. Let me go. Um, I left out one other thing, you guys, yesterday. There was a restaurant featured in the magazine article. I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. I want to see that place. But again, I didn't have the article. My phone wasn't working like on cellular for me to pull up the article. I literally walked by I found a park, then Spirit is like, go that way. And so I'm like, all right, I'll go explore that street. And I'm not talking to myself. This is all inner. But I turn and I'm going up the street, and it honestly looks like a boring street. I'm kind of like, ugh. The restaurant I was looking for is right there. Like I'm walking by it, and again, I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like, I'm so fun. This looks like the picture. I'm like, I look up, I see the name, and I'm like, I found it. And I go in, and I had a lovely conversation and ended up having like breakfast, having like a little breakfast, and chatted up the barista person. I won't go into more detail because I'll just leave it vague. But so literally every single thing that I wanted to see in the town, I accidentally found just by walking around intuitively. It would be in front of me or usually off to the side. I'd be like, oh my God. So that's kind of my life. When I'm in flow, my life is like that. And like friends will tell me, it is really magical. And that happens to you. And I'm like, I tell my friends who are a little bit less into, this like alignment, what I say to them is, it can happen to you too. But most people really predetermine everything. They lock everything up and then they're going around, it's locked up. You have to kind of open, it's like a flower bud. You have to kind of be a little more open, um, and it's like these drops of grace. They want to sprinkle on you, right? You've expressed what you want, then you have to be open for it to happen. And I think for some people it's a bit scary. Yeah. Oh, Monica, are you back? Because you're like, hey there. You were here. I thought you were here the whole time. Did you leave and come back? So that is my story, literally, of just wandering into everything I was looking for. And you can too. It can happen for you. Set a clear intention. What do you want? Visualize it, see it, and then do kind of let it go, but start taking steps. So don't hold too tightly. Start taking steps. Like if it's you want to be a singer. Okay, visualize, see the very top, see the goal you want, you guys. So if it was to be a famous singer, see it and then start looking, how can I take singing lessons or where can I sing? Start with a little tiny step. It's like this is the big goal and you're here, but start here and you'll get a little hint and a little hint and a little hint and you'll end up here. Okay? Oh, no to new people. Okay. I didn't know that because Monica, I'm looking in my chat and you're like, hey there. And I'm like, didn't we already hey? We hide? What? Hello? Hey? What's up? So I didn't know. Yeah. And some people are very shy. Yeah, some people are just like, I don't know. Does my name show on YouTube? Is it my full name? Like you shouldn't have put your full name if you don't want. Not you, Monica, but like some people who are getting scared, you can make up some weird name like X8C5 Sea Bass or I don't know, Mountain Ranger 25. Yeah, just make up some weird name. So if you enjoyed this, do give the video a thumbs up. Monica, yeah, I see the smiley face. No, thank you so much for your comments. And yeah, you were talking to Mel. I love it when you guys talk to each other. Mel, I think, is off, was making some food. Everybody's kind of chilling out. And yeah, I'm gonna, because I'm leaving the space where I am and I have to leave fairly early. I'm not super happy about that. I really don't like to have to do something early in the morning, but I can. I can if I have to, but it feels for my body, it feels almost like an emergency. Like, okay, we got to get up, we got to do it. And like, it's like adrenaline. Um, so I'm going to pack everything tonight and be ready early in the morning with my luggage. Um, which is very heavy. You guys, I'm actually, as I said, since I've been traveling for like 2 months now, imagine how hard that is to pack for. I had a rolling luggage, for those of you who still care. Not if you've been here for the whole almost 2 hours, it's fine. Bye. I have rolling luggage and then I have a backpack. And so of course, over time, it's gotten like a little bit heavier as I bought one or two things. So now I'm purging. I literally got rid of my down coat. You guys, I had a cute purple down coat because I came, it was still quite cold. And now I could not be wearing that coat. That would look like, doesn't she have another coat? So I went to a thrift store. I got a really cute jacket, not a designer, but a brand name, really nice, like kind of lean, lightweight jacket. And I just left them my down coat. I'm like, do you want this? And I mean, it was a little beat up. I guess they were like, okay, maybe we can try and sell it. It was kind of funny because I'm like, I don't think we can sell this. And they just took my down coat. And it felt weird to walk out without your coat, with a new coat, but it was like weird. And so I need to pare down a little bit because my luggage is just getting a little bit too heavy. I had bought a book here that I use when I'm working with clients. Um, and this is a really good book, Acupressure Potent Points, and it's kind of heavy, right? And I had wanted like a more light book to read when I'm traveling by train. So I need to like spend some time pairing out, getting rid of things, like throwing some things out, even though I'm still, on the move. The great thing about the UK, if any of you come in a visit, what I would say to you, and this may sound weird to some of you, but again, if you're more like a free spirit like me, they have so many charity shops, you guys. Literally, like I said, I saw this fabulous jacket. If any of you saw it, you would have been like, buy that jacket. There was an old woman and she didn't appear to like, she didn't talk to me too much or anything. But after I came over with the jacket I bought, she goes, I saw the other jacket. That looked really nice on you. Because I didn't want to buy two jackets. It was this designer, it was like black and white patterned. It had a nipped in waist that was lace. There was lace around the waist and it was just really fit me nice. The sleeves were perfect, very nicely cut. And I was like, should I buy two jackets? Why should I get two jackets? Because I'm trying to travel light. And I chose the black one, of course, right? Because I'm like, nobody will remember that this girl has worn her black jacket 5 days in a row, right? The other one, it was so stylish that it looked like designer. So people would have been like, oh, that's what she wears every day. So I just went with, as you can imagine, I went with what was more neutral, but I still think about that jacket. And I want to say it was $8, £8. It was £8 for this like name brand, beautifully cut. It was like a blazer slash jacket, like with black leggings. I would have looked dressed up to go to an art opening or to go to hear like music or a performance, an evening, and it looked really good with my hair. And I was just like, but you can't buy two jackets. You don't need two jackets. And now I regret it. Now I regret it. So, all that to say, if you're coming to the UK, you can pack light. If you're a thrift store girly, you can get, depending on the towns you're going to go to, you can get some really nice, inexpensive clothing at the charity shops. And I like that. And especially if you're long-term traveling. Again, I was traveling from winter into spring, so it's really hard to pack for that many seasons, right? For two completely distinct seasons. So you can just let go of some stuff or just pack for like winter and then buy spring dresses and stuff. I've seen some really cute dresses over here, you guys. Or pack for, maybe makes more sense, pack for spring and then buy the winter stuff. So just some tips. Let me know if you want me to give tips in another video. The next video coming out though will probably be a just guided mindfulness. I was in a beautiful spot where I got to meditate outside, so I filmed for you. And I'm also doing, to answer several of you question, a video about how to strengthen your kidney energy, which is basically your life force. It has to do with your longevity. It has to do a lot with your immunity, everything. I've made 2 videos for you, and those will be coming very soon. So please look out for those. Mwah, I love you very, very much. Thanks for your support of my channel. And I hope the affirmations, which is how I started the video off, that was the topic. I hope they were helpful. Keep doing the shadow work, keep letting go, because the more light we can become, like let go of people's baggage, drama. If you can let go of all of that, you can manifest. KHLE, you're welcome. Kaylee, you can manifest anything, but you've got to kind of be light, because to interface with spirit, and now I'm kind of preaching, I'm kind of channeling this, to interface with spirit and connect to that level where you're manifesting, it takes a certain vibration. And so the anger vibration is not the vibration of manifestation. It isn't. It's not gentle enough. It's not high enough. It's not refined enough. Okay. So work on the shadow stuff. It's a process, right? We all have anger that we need to process. We all have resentment that we need to process. I would put jealousy in there, right? Other people who you see having things you want, as Reverend Ike would say, bless them. He's like, you see somebody drive by in a big car, bless them, bless the car, bless them. It's the same thing, because, yeah, great, yeah. And now, Kaylee, as I'm looking at your word grateful, it's coming to me. If you can be grateful that others have, you're open to having yourself, right? You're open to having that same thing. I'm getting, literally, my third eye is starting to like kind of throb. Okay, that's really important. So anybody that you see that has something you want, bless them. You see a happy couple going by and they're kissing, they stop and they kiss, and you're like, that's so beautiful. Spirit is showing me love. It's showing me, happy couples like that. It's just bringing it into your awareness. Okay. It's saying, yes, that exists. Yes, you can have that. All right. Bye, Monica, Kaylee, FTL. All of you, Mel, Calmly, see you again soon. Karina's mood. Stay blessed, blissed and blessed and happy and joyous. I'm going to give myself some more hearts because I like it. And I'll give myself some more celebrations too. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you soon.